Hello again. This is Walter, the English Conversation Doctor, coming to you from Tokyo, Japan. And today we're going to talk about another study method that is very effective, and that would be watching TV. Now, I've mentioned a few times in my videos that I meet a lot of Japanese females here who are fluent, if not almost native English speakers. And a lot of times when I meet them, I just see them out and about, just walking down the street, or I might meet them like at a cafe or something, and I'll say hi, and they just start speaking to me in very, very fluent English. So of course I'm curious. I'm like, well, why is your English so good? Where did you study? You must have gone to school somewhere. And surprisingly, a lot of times the answer is no, I've never been to school, or I haven't studied. So my next question is like, okay, well, where did you learn to speak such, good English? And a lot of times the answer is pretty standard. I like watching English TV, or my favorite show is Sex and the City, or just something really standard. So, and this is a study method that I preach to my students quite a bit, and a lot of my female students get it. A lot of my guy students still don't do it for some reason. So they don't do it, and then they come back and they ask me the same questions over and over again, like, Walter, my English speaking and listening skills still haven't improved. What should I do? Or they might see one of their female coworkers or one of their female classmates whose English speaking skills and listening skills are improving very rapidly, and like, why is her English so good? And I tell them, or I ask them, have you been watching English TV? And a lot of times the guy is like, no, I don't have time to watch TV. And that's one reason why there seems to be a very big gap between the English communication ability of Japanese females as opposed to Japanese guys. And so we're going to take a look at why that is, and why TV is like a very good study method for improving your listening and your speaking skills. So first, let's take a look at hobbies. Now, on average, a lot of females in Japan, or a lot of females generally, like watching TV and like reading books. So, as I've mentioned in a previous video, reading is one of the best ways to improve your vocabulary and grammar usage skills. So, like a lot of times when I see girls in the train, they're reading books, either Japanese or in English. A lot of girls like reading English books. So what they're doing is they're basically studying vocabulary and grammar usage, right? Because in order to read the book, that's pretty much what you're going to get. But a lot of guys in Japan don't really read English books, so that's one reason why their vocabulary usage and their grammar usage is lower generally than Japanese females. Now, don't get me wrong. When Japanese guys study English, they tend to be very good at studying, but mainly for test taking. So a lot of times, what I run into is I will meet a Japanese guy or a Japanese salaryman who is very good at taking tests, who has a very high TOEIC score, and on paper his English skills look great, but he cannot speak English. Then I'll meet this Japanese female who has almost fluent English speaking skills. I mean, her English is almost perfect, but she doesn't have the test taking skills, so she can't pass the TOEIC test. So, so it's like opposite ends of the spectrum. But the reason for this has to do a lot with their hobbies. Guys tend to be a little bit more active, and like when they get off work or during the weekend, they kind of want to do more active stuff like sports, maybe like go fishing or something. Girls in Japan tend to be a little bit more like intellectual, a little bit more reserved. So that's why I see a lot more girls reading books than I see guys reading books. And also, like a lot of girls in Japan like watching TV. So, not just English TV, they like dramas. A lot of girls love TV dramas. So, and they're not really so particular about which TV dramas they watch as long as they're interesting. Now, guys generally tend to watch movies or shorter styles of TV, shorter types of TV programs. So, they might watch action movies, or they might watch something like maybe a comedy show. But on average, guys in Japan don't watch as much TV as girls. So a girl, when she gets off work, she'll go home and she'll just turn on her favorite TV drama. But her favorite TV drama could be Gossip Girls or Sex and the City, A lot of girls that I know like watching those shows, and they're watching it in English. So even though they might not be paying attention or they might not be studying every word, just the fact that they're watching TV and listening to the English, they're getting the language, even though they're not really trying to. They're just interested in the show. So the reason why TV works so well is because this is another natural study method. It's the same way that you learn to speak Japanese or your native language. You didn't learn by going to school. You learned by listening to your parents, and that was really only about maybe 20 or 30%. The rest of it you learned by like probably watching TV or like talking to your friends or shadowing or copying TV shows. So the reason why TV works so well is because TV is one-way input. So you cannot interact with the TV program. So a lot of people are like, well, I can't really interact with the TV, so I can't really like practice my English. For speaking, you cannot directly interface with it. So you're not going to be able to directly interface with your TV and speak to your TV. However, there are some very good effective study methods that you can still get from watching TV. And one of them is TV can help you improve your listening skills. I keep telling my students that the only way to become good at reading, writing, speaking, and listening to English is to read, write, speak, and listen to English. But a lot of times it just doesn't sink in. So when you watch an English TV show, you are constantly listening to native speed English with native vocabulary, native grammar, and the more you watch, the more you're going to pick up. Now, if this is a new exercise for you, when you first start watching a TV drama, you're not really going to understand that much. And that's what 80/20 listening is for, right? So you're going to watch maybe like Gossip Girl, the first episode, and you're going to say, oh, I didn't really understand everything. That's fine. Just keep watching it. The more you watch it, the more you'll understand. That's the same thing that happened to you in Japanese when you were a kid. When you first saw like your favorite TV show, you probably didn't understand the language because you couldn't speak Japanese. But the more you watched it, the more you picked up, and the more information, more vocabulary you picked up, you started to use that vocabulary in your daily conversation, right? Kids do it all the time. So this is the natural study method. Now, one thing is your listening skills will improve. However, one thing that I have to warn you of is if you're going to watch English TV dramas, you should try to watch them with no Japanese subtitles. The reason for that is, well, your brain is lazy. So if you rent a video or if you start watching an English TV show and your eyes see Japanese subtitles, basically your brain does this. And you're not listening to English anymore. Your brain is going for the easiest source of information, the easiest way to understand. And you're basically just reading Japanese, right? So it doesn't do you any good. So what I recommend is if you're going to watch a TV drama, try watching it with no subtitles or with English subtitles. If you watch it with no subtitles, you're going to understand less at first, but this also forces your listening skills to improve faster, right? Because that's your only source of information, right? Besides what you're watching, that's your only audio source of information. And then also, this will also teach you the art of lip reading, which I discussed earlier. So you can't read the subtitles. So your eyes, when you're watching the TV, your eyes are naturally going to start looking for mouth shape. And this is one of the skills that Japanese students of English don't have because, as I mentioned before in another video, Japanese does not require so many mouth shapes. So Japanese speakers of English cannot read them. But once you learn how to read the mouth shape, then then listening to English becomes easier because you're like, oh, this is this is oh, this is like then you can understand easier without having to listen so closely to the language. So these are some of the skills that you'll get. Also, visual. Well, TV is a visual media. So this will help you learn like proper mouth shape. It will also help you learn gestures, body movement to use in different situations. So a lot of Japanese students have a hard time using gestures and body language. That's because they're not used to seeing gestures and body language. So what happens is when you're watching TV, your body will say, "Oh, okay, I can use this gesture when I'm like saying this word," and it makes a mental link, a connection, right? So because TV is visual, you get a lot of visual cues for everything, body language, mouth shape, whatever you need. So that's one reason. Those are some reasons why TV is a more effective method for improving your listening skills. Also, for your speaking skills, like because you're getting so much exposure by watching TV to native speed conversation and native vocabulary and native grammar, your brain is recording most of this, right? So eventually, the more you watch TV, the more native level conversation you're going to start naturally using because you're getting it all the time. Now, this is different from business. When you use English in business, you're getting, well, business conversation. But if you know your job, then the conversation is only limited to your job. And you may not necessarily need to use new vocabulary or speak outside of the situation because you're only talking business. But if you're watching a TV show that's not related to your business, you're going to be experiencing different situations. This TV character or this girl went to the restaurant to meet her boyfriend and she got dumped. Well, that happens in real life. So what you should be doing is you should be paying attention to the conversation in this situation and finding out what to do and looking for the signs so that your boyfriend doesn't dump you the next time or you'll see it coming. But you will be getting with watching English TV will give you exposure to daily conversational English in real world situations, right? And that's what a lot of Japanese students are missing. So besides that, also if you'll recall how you learned to speak Japanese, a lot of times when you were a child and you watched TV, well, you wouldn't just watch the TV show. You would actually repeat what the characters are saying. That's called shadowing. So what a lot the secret so what a lot of Japanese girls do when they're watching English TV shows is they will actually start shadowing the speaker, right? When nobody's around, or if it's a song, they might start singing the song. But they learn to speak like the person on TV, which is exactly what you did when you were a child. So, because of that, they are basically copying native English speakers all the time, right? So they're copying native English speakers, they're listening to native English speakers, they're watching how native English speakers move and interact, and then, before they know it, without even thinking about it, they start showing fluent or native speaking English skills without going to school. So, I keep telling, this is a study method that I've been telling people about for a long time, but it seems that only girls really know how to use it in Japan. Guys are more traditional. Guys in Japan tend to be a little bit more traditional, I must go to English school to study, and I must talk to an English teacher to learn fluent communication skills. And that's not exactly a good way of thinking because it's not going to language schools is not a natural way to study. So what these girls are doing, it might sound a little bit complicated, but realistically all they're doing is they're studying the same way they did when they were children, right? Finding something that they liked, watching it every day, repeating the conversation, or just watching so much of it because some of these TV series are like years long, 10 seasons, that's 10 years long, right? So they're just watching so much of it that they eventually start becoming fluent English speakers, right? So, because TV is only one way, don't think of it as limited for your English learning ability, because it's not. You're still getting the same skills, and your speaking and listening skills will still improve just by doing that. So, if you're not familiar with English TV shows, what I recommend is you just go online and Google English TV dramas. You can, if you want to learn British English, you can even just type in British English TV dramas, and you'll get a full list of TV dramas that you can watch. And there are some online streaming sites, or you can rent videos, which I really don't recommend because that means you have to spend money. But you have access to stuff like Hulu. Hulu has a lot of English TV shows. Let's see, Wow Wow has a lot of movies and stuff like that in English TV dramas. Or you can just go by YouTube and start watching little video clips of TV shows. So there are tons of ways to use the study method. But if you start using it, then this will solve a lot of your problems that you have with English. A lot of guys tell me, I can't listen to native speed English in business meetings. Well, of course, because you don't have enough time listening to English at all. Most of the time, your business English, your business conversation is very short, right? So you don't, guys aren't getting enough practice, but girls are, because they go home and they listen to English for at least 1 or 2 hours every night by watching TV, right? And this is the thing, this is a secret that a lot of Japanese girls have that a lot of guys don't, that they don't tell their boyfriends about for some reason, right? So I'll leave the video at that, but it's something that I want you to think about. And in the book, in the iBook that I've created, I've actually posted some links to some very good sites and a few videos so that you can see what I'm talking about. But remember, when you're watching English TV, don't just listen to what people are saying. Pay attention to the TV show. You're looking for body language, eye contact, mouth shape, gestures. If you start doing that regularly, then you're naturally going to start displaying the same skills, right? So, that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. The next one, I think I'll go over the most effective method for studying English, which, like I mentioned before, will make you laugh once I tell you about it. But that's it for now.